Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, or hi if you're new, it's Libby. Today I'm going to be doing the mid-year book freakout tag. I do believe this was created by Ariel from Ariel Bassett. If I can find it, I will link it below. But I realized it's toward the end of June and I haven't filmed this tag yet, so I'm doing it now. There are 13 questions, and a lot of these questions I don't have the books for because they're not out yet or I don't have them yet. So, we are going to get started, dive in, and yeah. So, the first question is the best book you've read so far in 2021. So, I have two of these, and surprisingly, both of them are written by black authors, which is, you know, awesome for me. But the first book is Come to No Surprise, Amari and the Night Brothers by B.B. Austin. This follows our main character, Amari, who discovers her brother goes missing, and then one day she discovers a briefcase that he left behind for Amari. And then she gets thrust into this world where there's magic and all sorts of things, and she's trying to find out exactly what happened to her brother. So she goes on this adventure with some new friends, and it's just a whirlwind of adventures in this book. I really enjoyed it. Definitely gonna have to reread it soon. If you have not read this middle grade yet, I would highly recommend. It's amazing. It's a quick read. Just read it, please. Just read it. Yeah. The next book is, you guys are actually on top of it right now, but Come to No Surprise, Concrete Rose by Angie Thomas. I don't think anyone is going to stop talking about this book, but I enjoyed it. This follows our main character, what's his name? Marvick, who is 17 years old, and his life gets turned upside down when he finds out he has a son. And then he meets the son, and the son's mother kind of just drops him off and then runs away, basically. So Marvick is left to take care of his son. And then this is impactful. Um, it deals with death, death of a family member. It deals with pregnancy, unplanned pregnancies, and yes, as in plural, and gang violence. So, and it also deals with a parent who's in jail. So keep in mind for those trigger warnings. But this was really good. It was really impactful. I enjoyed it. I gave this one 5 out of 5 stars. So those are that. Second question is the best sequel in 2021. I reread these and I gave both of them 5 stars. So, I gotta move one. The first one, and they're both sequels of a trilogy, is books 2 and 3. If you followed me for a while, you'll definitely know what these are, but it is A Court of Mist and Fury and A Court of Wing and Ruin by Sarah J. Maas. Now, I'm not going to hold those up because those are heavy, but I really enjoyed these. This is about Freyra, who one day accidentally kills a wolf, but turns out it was actually a fairy, and then she is taken into this fairy world, and things go from there. And it's a whirlwind of adventures. She thinks she's in love. There's definitely a love triangle involved. She thinks she's in love with someone else, and then it turns out, obviously, that someone else is destined for her. So it's just a whirlwind of adventures and all of that. But it's really good. If you haven't read the series yet, I would highly recommend. So, third question is new releases that you haven't read yet but want to. The first one, of course, I don't have these yet. These two are out. They came out in June. The first one is One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston. I don't know too much about this. All I know is it involves a female-female relationship when her first book followed a male-male relationship. So that's all I know about One Last Stop. And the second one is Instructions for Dancing by Nicola Yoon. Again, I know nothing about this one, so I'm definitely looking forward to both of those. Fourth question, the most anticipated release for the second half of the year. I have two of these actually. Gods and Monsters by Shelby Herman, the third book in Serpent and Dove. This follows two characters. I'm blanking on their names right now. Sorry about that. One is a witch, one is a witch hunter. One person knows, she knows he's a witch hunter, but he doesn't know that she's a witch until later on in this book, and then it just spirals out of control. The second book I have is Kingdom of the Cursed, and that is by Carrie Maniscalco. This is the sequel to Kingdom of the Wicked, which I read last year and really enjoyed. So I'm really looking forward to Kingdom of the Curse, which comes out in October. So I have to wait a good while for that book. The fifth question, biggest disappointment for me. If you watch the vlog, then you'll know what it is. It's Den of Vipers. I read it, yes. And did I enjoy it? No. There was no plot. Trigger warnings for basically everything in that book. So, Den of Vipers is my biggest disappointment right now. That leads to the next question, biggest surprise. And for me, surprisingly, it's my current read right now, and that is Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. I'm really enjoying this so much. It's so good. I haven't read an epic high fantasy this fast as I'm reading Mistborn, so I'm really enjoying it. This follows a group of people who want to overthrow the Lord Ruler in this world. And in this world, Mistborns have the power to bend all sorts of kinds of metal. So, this is definitely a big surprise. I definitely do want to dive into the Well of Ascensions after this book. So, that'll be next. And I'm really looking forward to continuing the series. The next question is favorite new author. And this author slash series is going to be for the next few questions, so I'm not sorry about that at all, but it is what it is. And the new favorite author is the author of a manga, and I don't know if I'll be pronouncing the author's name right, so I'm sorry about that. If you've watched my vlogs, then you know I have not shut it up and will not shut up about the series. And that is Haiku by Haruchi for Date. This follows our main character, Hinata, who loves the sport volleyball. And then he goes to his first match in his last year of middle school, and he loses miserably. So he decides to make himself a rival of the team that they played against. And fast forward after the summer, when he gets to high school, the person he made rivals, he's not really rivals because they're on the same team. So this is really good. The manga and the anime are amazing. So if you haven't watched this or read this yet, I highly recommend you do so. The characters are all lovable, all of them, mostly. So, yeah, just read the series if you haven't. That brings to the next question. Newest fictional crush. For me, you don't meet this character until later on, but for me, that is going to be this guy right here, Yu Noishima. He is the Libro in this series. You don't meet him until volume 4, the end of volume 4, but he's definitely one of the biggest main points of this. His character is just crazy. He's kind of, he's got a temper, but he's got a soft side and a bad side, so it kind of makes up for it, but I love his character. It's great. That leads to the next question. Newest favorite characters. All of these characters are from this manga, so, which is Hinata, who's right here. Kageyama is this guy right here. And then Sugawara is that one right there. So, but yeah, I have, those are those questions. Sorry, it all involved one series. So, the next question, book that made you cry. Right now, none. I'm not a book crier, obviously. So, that brings to the next question, book that made you happy. Again, this series right here, and I'm not even done reading it. There's like 45 volumes. I have a while. The most beautiful book you bought this year, and for me, I'm gonna have to go with Chain of Iron by Cassandra Clare. This is the second book to the Last Hours series. I have not read this yet, so I need to. So, and that brings me to the last question. What books that you need to read by the end of the year? I have quite a few. One being Chain of Iron. 2, finishing The Box in the Woods by Maureen Johnson. The rest of them are not out yet. Well, one is out, I just don't have yet. Witch Shadow by Susan Dennard, that came out the 22nd of June. I have Gods and Monsters. I have, by Shelby Herman, Game Changer by Abby Glines, The Last Legacy, Kingdom of the Cursed, A War's End, Kryptonic, and The Right Nose. So, those are all the books that I want to read by the end of the year. Obviously, most of them are not out yet. So, that was my mid-year book freakout tag. Let me know down below what your favorite book of 2021 is so far, and if you made it to the end of the video, leave a rainbow emoji. Yes. But that's all for me today, guys. I will have my Goodreads, Instagram, and Twitter down below, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye, guys.